Hello, 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 hello. Yes, live streaming. You don't get that on this channel, do you? No, you don't. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little update, and really, this is the only way I can pretty much do it. Um, you may be wondering where did Rob go? What happened there? And well, it's a long story. It's not necessarily a happy one. Nobody died. Um, well, not yet, anyways, and not directly, but you may be thinking, well, everybody got sick and stuff. And yes, everybody did get sick here, but that wouldn't stop the videos. No. What would stop the videos? Well, my computer. Yes, my computer bit the big one there. And yeah. Um, that was not fun. And later on in this video, we're going to power it on and see if I fixed it. Um, took a little bit of trial and error, experimentation, but I think I figured out that the power supply went, thankfully. Because if it was anything else, then that would be bad. But we were having power problems here. Um, and I got them down here. Previously, it was plugged into the wall here, right? Now this has a little bit of a surge protector in it, but it's old. And then from that, it was plugged into this, which also had a surge protector in it. Now this started making noise. And I do know that I was having some power problems. I did at one point fry my work computer, which is also here. And so that had to get replaced, and that's when I kind of beefed up to this doohickey and got some more surge protection going on, right? So yeah, when this started making noise, and I was having a little bit of power problem, and then eventually the computer just wouldn't turn on. So my first thought was, okay, I know this wasn't doing so well. It shouldn't be making noise. So I went out and bought all new power strips and such. So I now have a new thing in the wall with a surge protector and two new power strips, one running one side, one running the other side, in terms of stuff. And all of them have surge protectors on them. So hopefully that helps with some stuff. And I don't expect any of you to be really watching this while I'm doing this live. If you do tune in, hey, cool. I'm shooting this on my phone. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this live thing works. I do know that this is the format of YouTube, so I'm shooting it this way, but everything is on the side now, so I don't know. I've shot one live video once before, which you wouldn't have seen because it was a private video for James's first birthday during COVID. And this is how we had it, and we went around and, let everybody who was supposed to be at the, party who couldn't come, was on it there. But I just sort of walked around with it that way. So I have no idea how this is. I could be on my side. I could be like tilted or something. I don't know. I have no idea. But I think this makes more sense. I am upright on the camera looking at me, so I figure this has to be working, right? So we'll find out later on. But yeah, so the computer went down, and not giving up on things right away. I started going through, the standard stuff again. First, I changed out all the power supplies. That was, the power strips and such, hoping that was what it was, because I couldn't just plug it straight into the wall. There's too many peripherals that need power for it to work. But yeah, that didn't fix the problem. So next I was like, okay, so it's definitely a power problem. Could be power supply, could be the power switch, and it could be the motherboard. Because this wasn't doing any power whatsoever, nothing. So I thought about it, and a few days went by, and I kept thinking, what can I do to eliminate the variables and such. Um, so I went and checked what the power supply was on it, and realized I had an old computer with a somewhat similar power supply. So I took that apart and literally had to really take it apart to get this power supply out. And took the computer here apart and just taking the power supply and plugging in the motherboard and nothing else. Um, I powered it up, and the motherboard powered up, which it wasn't doing before. And the power switch worked, which it wasn't doing before. So I was like, okay, so power switch works. Motherboard probably works. Power supply probably doesn't work. Okay, great. I have this power supply here. Let me just use that. I'll be good to go. Nope. My power supply is too old. It didn't have SATA power cables. And I thought I had it all figured out. So I had to order a power supply. And while all this is going on, we're started having Wi-Fi problems here at the house. And I didn't understand what was going on there because everything was working fine. I did a firmware upgrade and everything was hunky dory. Nothing, no problems. In fact, I had more options available to me. But then all of a sudden one day, the Wi-Fi would just cut out. Like it just would cut. There'd be nothing. Like you could have a device next to the transmitter and it still would not register internet. Right? It registers Wi-Fi, but it wasn't connecting to internet. So I was like, crap. That sucks. Luckily, if you powered it down, left it for a bit, and powered it back up, it would seem to reconnect and everything would be fine. But that started to become more and more frequent. So I was like, must be, I don't know what's going on here because I haven't, like, it was working fine. Everything was all good. The only thing I had changed was a firmware update. But that was, it's been a few weeks since I did that. Everything should be fine, right? Then I started thinking, oh crap, maybe the signal from downstairs to upstairs, the cable, all the wired line going that way. Crap, maybe there's a problem there. And so I checked all the connections down here. They were a little not perfect, but I mean, I don't think it was probably any different than the last couple of years, to tell you the truth. So I, tried to get everything all good and started thinking, crap, do we have like mice or something? Did something chew through a line in the wall once it hits the wall going upstairs in the cavity? Oh, Jesus, Lord. I'd rather have a problem with the internet than to deal with, rats or mice. Because there are a lot of rats and mice in the area. We get a whole bunch of them in our pool and killing them in the backyard all the time, because they're building up houses and all that grass that they're living in gets destroyed and turned into houses. So they got to find another place to go. And, well, we got a water source here. So they tend to navigate towards our property often. So I was thinking maybe, God forbid, maybe we got mice or rats or something in the wall. But I know I've been in buildings where there are mice and rats, and you can hear them. You can, if they're in the wall, you can hear them. When they're moving, and at night they move. So yeah, I was kind of ruling that out, but I was having problems trying to figure out what was going on. And so I went out one night, and she was like, "What?" And I was the app, the thing. I was like, "Just everything." Like start with the app. Start with restarting the app. If that doesn't work, start restarting, the internet. Work your way through, right? Start with your phone. Move on to the whatever next device, right? Well, she said that's not working. It's not fixing anything. And she's like, and I said, well, turn it off, and then turn off the router, and then in a little bit turn it back on. Well, she never turned it back on. So the next day when I go to turn it on, instead of connecting, it gets this weird non-connecting thing going on. And she's like, yeah, that's what it was doing last night when I tried. It would go green and then it would just flash. And I was like, fantastic. So router's not working, which means everybody's on my case because there's no Wi-Fi. And so I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. And of course, the internet isn't being much help at all, because everything I look at starts off with, well, if you're having this problem, connect to the internet and do this. Why is it every time you need to fix an internet connection, the first thing you need to do is connect to the internet? Does that make sense to you? Right? Whether it be, oh, you got to download this software, download this driver, download this, go read this online, go to this website, go do this, go. Yeah, so there was a whole bunch of different softwares and stuff I could do to download and do diagnostics on this, but again, I don't have any way to do that, right? Because I don't have the internet upstairs. But okay, well, I'll figure something out. And I started. Part of the problem was I couldn't find anything that really described what was happening. Everything was kind of like this, kind of like that, but not quite exactly what we're dealing with. Eventually, I found one that was just like, oh, yeah, your router is stuck in sort of this boot up mode. It's put itself into um, uh, this problem mode, which happens when your firmware is incomplete or corrupted. Fantastic. So that's the problem with that router. Okay. All right, let's see if we find the way to fix that. Well, apparently you got to connect to the router itself. And guess what I can't do? Connect to the router itself. It doesn't register. It is not there. I can plug directly into it. Still not there. It will not soft reset. It will not hard reset. It is bricked as far as I'm concerned currently until I can get it fixed. Oh, woe is me. So in my head, I'm thinking, wow, great. That's fantastic. This, I think it was $800 when I bought it. I think I can get it for maybe $500 now. It's gone down in price, but still, $500 to replace this. Fantastic. Maybe I'll see if I can find a different solution to at least get people some Wi-Fi. So I found an old Wi-Fi router um, that I had, and I was like, okay, great. I'm gonna plug this in and set it all up and get Wi-Fi, which I do. But then it starts dropping connection just like the other router did, and I'm like, what the hell? This is an old router. It shouldn't have a problem with new firmware. Not, like, oh, what is going on? So I had one of the problems I read was, especially with an older model like this, is you could have too much trying to go through this, this router, and it tends to just sort of go kind of like shut off. So because we have, our television and our Netflix and all that kind of stuff hardwired into it, and then you get all of the people on their phones and their tablets and their laptops, and most, a good portion of them are going to be streaming videos, and they're all going to be streaming internet. I mean, there's probably a good 12 devices going at once, not to mention, video cameras and all that kind of junk, right? So I was thinking, okay, maybe that's the problem. Well, how do I alleviate that? Okay, well, I know my wiring here. My cat cables can carry this, no problem. I know that. So what do I do? Well, there's two problems. One is the Wi-Fi, and when the Wi-Fi cuts out, the whole modem cuts out. So any of the hardwired connections into it, because I was using it as a switch as well, also don't work. So I'm going to go out and buy, a reasonably inexpensive switch, 5, 6 port switch. And at least all the hardwired connections, I'll put those, run them straight through, and I'll put the router into that, so it's another one, and just use it as Wi-Fi, nothing else, not as a switch as well. And lo and behold, that worked. We have not had, I mean, the Wi-Fi, we've lost it once or twice, but not like once or twice every hour, right? So I don't know what it was. I don't know if our cable, our modem downstairs here, if there was some kind of update or something that it auto updated to, and that messed everything up. But yeah, I just find it weird because I I could be wrong, but I think the router I was using upstairs was originally connected to the same cable or whatever modem cable, whatever. I don't know what the hell we got piped into this house anymore. I don't keep track. Um, so to have it run into those problems, it was just, I don't know. It was weird, but that solved that problem. Meanwhile, you haven't heard from me here on really the YouTubes. I've been replying to messages because I can do that through my phone. And I can do it when I'm at work on the computer there. I could technically do it on my work computer here too if I logged into YouTube, but I don't on my work computer here. But to make matters worse, the video camera I used to shoot the videos decided to so I get internet band-aid. It's a band-aid. It's not where we were before. It works, but it's not the level we had before. I've got the power supply. I've installed it. Hopefully the computer will be back. But that being said, now my video camera's down. I can't shoot new videos. Well, I guess I can shoot them with my phone, but shooting it with my phone means I fill up my phone really quick. I don't want to do that. That's where I take my, photos and videos of my kid when we're out and about and such, right? Like that's what that's for. Not for making YouTube videos. I know a lot of people do it, but it's not me. It was always a dedicated video camera for that. So I might be able to get the video camera to work sporadically. It was having problems with the zoom, and this has been kind of building up over the last year. and of course compounding as you go along. And for the first part, I thought it was because it had a dirty lens on it, so it would kind of pick up the specks of dirt and stuff on the lens and try and focus in on them, so the focus wasn't off, like the autofocus, right? But it started getting to the point where I was having problems focusing at all when I was using it, right? So I would focus in on something and then it wouldn't auto continue, properly autofocus. And that was normally when I was shooting James at soccer. So yeah, one day at soccer, I was really having, I like it literally wouldn't, it would stay, I'd have to keep it at one particular focal length in order to have stuff in focus. Otherwise, nothing was, it was just blur. And so I couldn't zoom in, I couldn't zoom out. It had to be whatever that focal length was. And I was like, that's not good. And of course, turning it off and turning it on, like I wouldn't keep it rolling the whole time because there's a lot of pauses and stuff. Well, sometimes it wouldn't refocus and I'd have to do it again. And sometimes it wouldn't start. And then eventually, I don't know, we were in the middle of one of his soccer things, and I went to, get it ready to shoot the next part, and it did nothing. Did nothing. Would not turn on, would not do nothing. Just, and of course, this is not dead battery type situation. No, the battery's fully charged and such, but yeah. So, yeah, I've been using my phone to try and do everything video camera wise and all that kind of such. And yeah, eventually my phone's going to fill up. And my phone filled up not too long ago. And I've been trying to get, stuff off of it and backed up. But either way. So that is what's been going on here. It has been crazy. And I'm sorry I haven't been able to post anything. But without the computer, I can't actually edit and upload videos. And I'm just doing this live thing here because I can do this. This is an option I have. So even if I don't have a video camera available, I can at least have the ability to upload videos because I do have a whole bunch of videos shot. So yay for you. If I can get the computer running, you're going to get some videos. So without further ado, I'm going to press this on button and see what happens. Cross your fingers, folks. Here we go. Power lights are on. Monitor says no signal. Come on. Come on. Not looking good, folks. Not even at the BIOS. So I'm going to turn off the monitor. Or turn it back. I maybe power it off. Saying no signal. And such is my life. Crap. Well, if you know anything about computers, let me know why I am not getting anything. Why? Oh, yeah. Why am I not even getting to the BIOS? Well, maybe a while till you get the next video. That's all I'm saying. So, if you managed to make it this far, we're almost 25 minutes in. Thanks for watching. Till next video, take care. Have a good one. Oh, yeah.